there, everybody. Talk about last-minute technical difficulties. 90 seconds ago, my phone died. This phone camera, that one. That one there. I had to swap out another phone really fast. So hold on a second while I get the chat set up. I can't see anybody. But at least we started on time. If you could call this started. Yeah, 90 seconds. Literally 1:58:31. Suddenly, bloop, phone goes to sleep permanently. Let me know how the audio is. We're still working out a few kinks. Stream health is good. There's the chat window. I saw the beginning of Garen, Anna, Jeff, and Dr. Cynthia's work. It was awesome. Who's here? Casual Noises, Craig, Trusto, Andy. Let's see. Eternian, Paul. Let's see. I see Lamar, Animotion, Lamont, Rich. We are Magonia. Hey. If I've met you before, I don't remember, so welcome aboard. Let's see. Jeff and Garen. All right, everybody transitioned. It's a raid. All right, after this, we'll all go over to Symptoms of Reality. I will try not to run over. Today's more experimental. I am hyping up the Korg and the Korg and the Waldorf Iridium, the Korg Pi Trio, now a quad, with the new poly, multi-poly. So let's see who else. Man with Beard, David the Hug Monster, Dub Station Zero. Hey, welcome back. Zyrinx Steinhardt. Oh boy, that one rings a bell, but I don't remember the last time you heard. Greetings from Oregon. I think you have been here before. So, welcome back. Let's see. Craig, Man with Beard, and Garen. A quintet. The King Korg. Yeah, I'm not mentioning the King Korg, but whatever. The ones I like. All right, let's see. All right. That's good. The camera's still working as I flip back over. Okay, camera's still working. Good. All right. All right, so what are we doing today? So, today's like sort of informal kind of talky. We're going to have a lot of droning going on. Basically, what we have in front of us is a little Launchpad Pro for me to noodle around on. And I have notes. I have some notes. And the notes are really just a list of things I want to complain about. So about the synths in front of me, and let's see, a couple synths across the room, and make a couple nerd jokes, and then we'll probably end up just a little bit before 3, so everybody can trundle on over to Symptoms of Reality, and I can get settled and then get there. But let's see. Paul says he's waiting for the delivery of 2 LED wash lights for the show next Saturday and a light ring. Oh, congratulations. As you can tell, I don't spend a lot of money on lighting and stuff like that. If you watched the Gallimaufry video with everybody before this one, if you watch that stream, you can see that many of them are way more into lighting and camera work than I am. Because it's a hobby. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Craig. Liking and subscribing is optional, but I'm glad Craig encourages people. It's always good. All right, so what do we have in front of us? So anyway, we got this Launchpad Pro, and I've got some things to complain about it. As much as I love this thing, I'm going to complain about it a bit. We have a Waldorf Iridium here, which I'm the desktop module. I'm super happy with it, but I have some complaints. I'm going to air those today. And then over here, we have the old first-gen Korg Pi Trinity, the Opsix, the Modwave, and the Wavestate. and I have only a couple minor complaints, but in general, I really like these. And so today is partly going to be an advocacy thing for these things, because now that the poly, the multi-poly is out, the price on these might drop, certainly on the Modwave. And so today is going to be a showcase of why the Modwave is worth picking up really cheap if people are unloading them. Okay, so I'm going to do a little like pseudo jorb, pseudo audio pills, and see if I can drive the price up on these. Not that I want to sell mine, but these are really good. So consider. Let's see. For those of you who arrived, Marky, people who jump in the chat and I miss, I'll greet you eventually. If you have questions, tag me if you could, please, or stick a big capital Q, or even like 2 or 3 of them at the beginning of your question, and then I'll notice it, and that'll help. All right, let's see. Davi moved your stream because oh, thank you, Davi, appreciate that. Let's see. Casual noises is I'm really thinking about getting Korg multi-poly. So this is me for the multi-poly. I totally am getting one, but not right now. I'm going to wait, because with all of these, the Opsix, the Modwave, and the Wavestate, Korg, I think with the Wavestate, Korg came out with SE editions, which were big versions with full big key beds, and they were supposedly nice key beds. And the fact that the multi-poly's key bed is better than these 3 were originally means they're paying attention to people shitting all over their keybeds. All right, so I'm thinking maybe the SE version might be the one that I want to get, because I totally do want one. But these ones used to be the ones that have keyboards attached to them, and I did the conversion kit from Dan over at Tall Dog Electronics, and they're in these nice aluminum enclosures. I talked about them a couple streams ago, but now they're all linked together into this sort of, it's sort of like what is it, the Moog Sound Studio, with the 32, the DFAM, and the subharmonicon. It's that kind of feel to it, except it's double wide. This is wider than 19 inches. It's humongous. And with the aluminum enclosures, it weighs a frickin' ton now. So it's a substantial, meaty thing. It sort of offsets the fact that the keyboards were shit, because it's not on there anymore. But all right, let's see. Forgetting anybody? Hey, Tracker Jack. Welcome. Hey, Jason, Mr. Jervis. All right. So let's talk about, I've got some, well, let's do this. Let me talk about this now. We'll get it in early. This is just the Modwave. And let's see if I can get this to work right. I'm going to change the patch on the Modwave. All right, I've changed the patch on the Modwave. And the one thing I like about it is it keeps playing the previous patch until you send it a new note, which I love. So if you're doing this kind of ambient, kind of performance-y stuff, it's really easy to do smooth transitions. It's awesome, okay? I used to hear this, like I'd watch a loop pop video, and he would be like, yeah, you can, the tails of the previous notes don't get cut off when you change the patch. And I was like, whatever, that's great. Until I sat here this weekend and like started using it, and I'm like, oh, that is useful. It's nice for doing these sort of smooth transitions. And the Modwave does it, the Wavestate does it, I think the Opsix does it. So that's something I really like. So let's do it here. Let's do this. We'll bring the Wavestate back in. So having, just for like droning pads, having a Modwave and a Wavestate just laid on top of each other is pretty awesome. Gets a lot done with just a little bit of effort. Here, let's take the Modwave out. So here's the Wavestate. So not everything the Wavestate does has to be the funky rhythmic, we're gonna jump through a ton of samples. Like as a drone machine, you can smear all those samples or selectively choose samples that aren't too jarring. They don't have to be drum parts, right? So you can get these. It just makes a fantastic drone machine. So let me do a transition. Not all of the patches I have programmed here transition cleanly, because if it's something that uses a really high voice count, it will kill the previous one when you change it. Let's try this. Yeah, like that. Yeah. So this one uses too many voices. Let me try it again. But if you've got two of them layered, one can cover for the other one. Let's try this again. Yeah, it's not always clean. So we'll bring the Modwave back in. So between the two of them, if you layer them, I didn't really go to that much trouble to like find a perfect patch list. I didn't make a set list of everything that would work exactly right. Let's see. Let's see. So could you play ARP with 3 or 4 patches on the Modwave? The Modwave has 2 layers, Biscuit. So you can play 2 separate ARPs on that. On the Wavestate, you can do 4. And on the new what's it called? Multi-poly. Good God, the naming is getting crazy. The new multi-poly is 4 layers, but only 1 ARP shared across all of them. So if you want 4 distinct ARPs, you actually need a Wavestate. Okay. The Modwave is 2-part multitimbral. The Wavestate is 4-part multitimbral. The multi-poly is 4-part multitimbral. But on all of them, the reverb is shared across all parts, and on the multi-poly, the ARP is shared across all parts. So if you want, that's why I still like the Nord A1. The Nord A1, it still has an ARP for all 4 layers, a distinct ARP for all 4 layers, and a reverb and a delay for all 4 layers. So if you can go back 12 years and get a Nord A1 and really have total control. But these are still awesome. I'm like really happy with them. So let's see. It said Tiger Payphone. Welcome if you're new. The Breathalyzer. Hello, sir. Music Smurf. Welcome back. Perky Pat as well. A few people popping in here. So what we're doing today is we're talking about the Korg Pi synths because the new multi-poly is announced, and these are still awesome, so I'm giving some demos of them, and the Waldorf Iridium as well today. Garen asks, can you use the sequencers looped to get multiple ARPs on the multi-poly? Oh, you can use the sequencers loop to get multiple ARPs in the multi-poly. You'll have to send me a link to that, Garen, because I didn't read the manual. I was looking at a few of the videos, and I just saw like loop up was like 1 shared ARP. So if they've done a workaround, send it my way. I'll look at it. That just makes me want it more. I will eventually get a multi-poly, but I'm going to wait to see if they have the SE version. Let's see. Okay. Anyway, so let's bring these all up. Yeah, see, like there's a Wavestate one that ate the voices. So, all right. Let's noodle just a tiny bit. So I'm playing a Launchpad Pro Mark III. It's a very nice surface for playing. I know there's like, there are camps when it comes to pads, right? Let's bring that down a little bit. There are camps when they're coming to pads, right? Some people are like MPC or die. Some people like the push pads, and there's like a what's the word? A schism between push 2 version pads and push 3 version pads. Whatever. I like pads that are firm. I'm not an MPC guy. I've never laid hands on an MPC. don't know what the pads feel like, right? Maybe I'll love them, except there's for the most part, on most units there's only 16, and I want 64. But the Launchpad pads feel a whole lot like the Push 2 pads. So if you like the feel of the Push 2, you might like a Launchpad Pro. It's a whole hell of a lot easier to carry around and travel with. If you've got a Launchpad Pro Mark III, I'm talking about this one specifically because early Launchpads didn't feel this nice. If you've got one and you're wondering maybe I'll like a Push 2 or a Push 3, the Push 2 feels identical and Push 3 actually feels better, and it's MPE. So consider that if you're going shopping. The thing that sucks about the Launchpad Pro Mark III is there's no knobs, no sliders. So you lose, like I can reach over here and use a mod wheel and a pitch bend on the synths, and that's okay. But on the Iridium, and this is my complaint about the desktop Iridium, the Iridium has no mod wheel, no pitch bend on it. It responds to it over MIDI, and that they expect, I'm sure, that you're going to have a keyboard controller with a pitch bend and a mod wheel. But on Launchpad Pro, I basically lose the ability to do dives and things like that when I'm using Launchpad Pro on something like the Iridium. So keep that in mind. That's a complaint. There are workarounds. You can use additional bits and pieces. We could talk about that. I Sing the Body Electric says, how did you decide in which order to arrange the Korg Holy Trinity? It was random. It was totally random. It's like I was installing the wings on it, and I put the wings on the Modwave on the top and then on the bottom, and then realized, oh, I guess that makes it the middle. So that's where I was at. They're all accessible, like it works fine. And if you are one of those people who were afraid for my modular when I had it perched on 2 desktop laptop stands for a month or so, this is perched even more precariously, and I'll take pictures and share them in the community stuff eventually. But needless to say, it's on a keyboard stand, angled up, and if it falls back, it will actually slip out of the little teeth that are holding it in and fall to the floor. So what's holding it upright are 2 chunks of acoustic foam that are crammed back in between the back of the synth and the keyboard stand itself. So literally, it's being held together by the Lord, right? There are angels dancing around. What do they say? I'm working the angels here. They're basically keeping it safe. It's been that way for a couple weeks. It's not going anywhere. Garen says the Akai Force for MPC style, yeah, with a whole lot of pads. That is true. I've actually laid my hands on a Force. I looked at when I went to NobCon last year. You were with me. We went to the jam at what was his name? I can't remember. Anyway, I got to play with Tony's Noise Theorem on YouTube. I got to play with his Akai Force, and that did feel good. I got no complaints about that, but it would be redundant for me to get a Force since I'm an Ableton guy. That's okay. Let's see. Looking for questions really quick here. Let's see. Yeah, so launch controls, knobs and slide. Yeah, so options, right? I could get another control surface, put it down, down here for sure. And I may end up doing that. I've got a Bluetooth, Nano Studio, Korg Nano Studio sitting over there that I've used before in streams from last January. What I like, let me pull this out. So I don't know how well you guys can see this. Let me see. Let's get the camera view, shall we? So this, if that's in focus, this is just a little box guitar pedal with a couple potentiometers on it, a 50K and a 10K potentiometer, and then there's expression pedal. It's wired to be an expression pedal. Like each knob will control 2 expression outputs, and I would run this into the expression pedal input on the Iridium, and then map that to like mod wheel, and then have a knob I can crank on, which would be great, except next complaint, the Iridium desktop has no sustain pedal input and no expression pedal input. I did not realize that until this weekend when I'm like, oh yeah, I could totally use this for mod wheel. No, I can't. So they're really at Waldorf, they firmly believe that people are using a keyboard controller and that they won't ever need mod wheel input or expression input on this thing or sustain. No, not at all. In fact, if you go to the manual says just use your inputs on the back of your Iridium keyboard. they like the desktop unit manual and the keyboard unit manual are the same PDF, and they just conveniently have the word keyboard in there, and they just sort of obliviate the fact that the desktop unit does not have those inputs. It's kind of frustrating, but whatever, cost-saving measures. All right, let's change these pitches. Let's change these patches. Let's see. Here's the change now. I don't actually like that. It's a little too buzzy. Yeah, let's go to the next one. There we go. We'll change this sort of Tibetan monk one here on the Wavestate. So for those who came in late, I have the trio of Korg Raspberry Pi synths, the originals up here. These are original Mark 1s. I've torn the keyboard off and put them in aluminum enclosures. It was a kit that way they had on the Kickstarter. And all I'm doing is they're droning, and I am changing their drone patches periodically just to advertise that they're still good. And because the new multi-poly's out, the price on these is probably going to drop, and you should grab them because they're awesome. So if you have questions, tag me at the beginning or put a big Q in front of it. Otherwise, I'm going to miss them. Anyway, so yeah, no like expression inputs on the Iridium. So on the Iridium desktop module, just frustrating. Let's bring this in. So let's bring the Opsix in. It's been pretty quiet. Got this just playing a little pattern in the background, a little ducka ducka. Now, these all have a jack in the back. All three of the Korgs have a jack in the back labeled damper. And I haven't looked up in the manual whether that's truly a damper from the piano perspective, or if that's a sustain input. I'm not sure. So if anyone knows, let me know. Put it in the chat. Let's see. All right, no questions. Anyway, so Opsix FM, right? If you're willing to dig into it, you can do a lot of non-FM things with it. The fact that there is a user algorithm, which has been extensively documented on YouTube, so I'm not going to even try and talk about it. The Opsix is way more than a DX7 for doing plunky E-pianos and bell sounds. Although I did save, for your knowledge, on the Opsix, default patch 73 is the Taco Bell Taco Bell 73. Just so you know. It's important, that's a piece of information that's going to come up one day. You're going to be gigging with someone, you're going to have an Opsix there, and they're going to go, we need to, we've been sponsored by Taco Bell. It just happened at the beginning of the concert. We have to play the Taco Bell sound. It's number 73 on the Opsix. Okay? So, hey Steve. Garen says that damper is probably sustain. I should just try it, like empirically, then I'll know. But in true Korg form, the only pedal that would work is a true damper. and only with Korg's damper pedal. That may be the case. It's labeled damper. I don't know. And that is my other complaint. These don't have an expression pedal input either, which, fine. There's a lot of synths that don't have an expression pedal input. It's not exactly common, but I would, that's like, I think that's a sign of a particularly good synth, right? When they've got an expression input. That would be awesome. Let's see. Damp and damper. Okay. Let's noodle just a little bit more. What time is it? I don't want to run over. Okay, 2:30. This is where I want I wish I had a pitch bend. Let's change these pitches. There's a nice resonant filter bomb here, right here. Nice. So let's talk about presets. So the presets that come with these things are typical factory presets from Korg. Really broad, bunch of different sounds, bunch of different genres, styles. My suggestion to you is to keep, if you want to go through the effort of pulling up Librarian, marking the ones you like, deleting the ones you don't like, that's fine. I used to do that a lot. What I do now generally is go shopping for preset libraries and load them in there. And so what's in here now is like about 3 or 4 libraries each from like Gumroad, right? Or from LFO.store. There's a bunch of designers out there who are doing really good work on these, specifically on these 3 Korgs. They're selling nice libraries of about 40 to 60 new presets for anywhere from 10 to 20 US dollars each, right? So for less than $50, you can load them up with whatever genre you want. So it's like I'm doing dance EDM. It's basically like rewriting the entire synth. You just load up what you want. I went out and I said, I want space music, I want Klaus Schulze, I want Tangerine Dream. Boom. And you're done, right? And then you can take those apart and build your own, right? I'm not going to decry people who build their own. I do build my own, but I'm much more of a preset tweaker. I'll find a preset I like and then tweak it to be what I want. So, hey Wookie. No need to be late, to apologize for being late. There's no late. It's all good. Where's my +3? Hey, Joe. My +3 unit is over on the Matriarch. So I did purchase one of those Endorphins Loop Pop. Basically, it's a sustain latch and expression pedal. And I wanted to use it on these synths, and they don't have expression input or sustain inputs, so I'm using it on the Matriarch, which is over on the other side of the room. But we'll see that in another stream. I used it last stream, or the stream before that, so it's okay. Let's see. Once again, if you have questions, tag me, otherwise I will miss them. Rich says, if you look up Ian Dixon, he creates many free preset packs for these Korgs. Oh, I will look those up. Hang on. So I don't have to notes. So I don't have to go through this, scroll through the stream again. Thanks, Rich. Ian Dixon. I've met a lot of Dixons in the last couple of weeks. So, some of them were better than others. Let's see. Okay, let's change these again. They're a bit repetitive. Some of them are less repetitive than others. Let's make a jarring change. Ooh, they're not all winners. Let's hear this in isolation. Alright, so this is one preset coming off of the Wavestate. And it's the opposite of what I'd expect. Okay, so preset designers, synth sound designers, I want the sound to be muted, more like that, when the mod wheel is down. This particular preset, it's inverted, and that by default, it's real buzzy. And bringing the mod wheel up makes it quieter. Yeah, that's the opposite of what I want. And I could go in and change the mod mapping, but let's see. Here we go. Let's see what this one sounds like. So for those who came in late, I'm trying to pitch how awesome these old Korg Pi modules are. So the Opsix, the Modwave, the Wavestate. And so we're just going through the sort of ambient drone presets that I've got for them. Oh, that's like the TARDIS. You bring up the mod wheel. This kind of sounds like the TARDIS. Maybe not. Let's bring that. Let's bring the art back. Let's change the pattern on the ARP too while we're here. There we go. Alright, what am I missing here? The Korg damper pedal input is a TS jack, and the half damper is not supported. I don't know what a half damper is, so I know nothing about damper versus sustain, so what does that mean, Edgarin? Educate me, my friend, as you usually do. Wait. Andy says, I'm still addicted, but I'm hiding it. Hang on a minute. Let's adjust. What am I still addicted to? I mean, synths, duh. Let's see, is that all one machine, or is it an expansion? What do you mean, Steve? Is all what you're listening to? What you're listening to is 3 machines right now. Not sure what you mean. So fill me in. Let's see. Half damp is just moist. Yeah. Moist. So here's the story. At work, we do reviews every year, right? Performance reviews. And you have to write your own performance review, and then your boss writes a performance review for yourself as well. I'm going to change these patches again. And then you compare theirs versus yours and negotiate on who's right. I'm oversimplifying, but that's kind of how it works. All right. And a group of us, and I'm not going to name names, but there's a group of us who every year agree on a magical special word or phrase that we have to fit into our self-review somewhere and then, get it accepted. They go in. And like 15 years ago, the word was moist. We had to somehow work the word moist into our self-review. And every year it's a different word or phrase. So let's see. It's just an on-off sustain input. Okay. Thanks, Garen. Talking about modular addiction. I'm not addicted to modular anymore. No, not at all. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see. On the Iridium, Perky Pat asks, on the Iridium, can you create a powerful sustain pedal? Can you create a powered sustain pedal and plug it into one of the CV inputs? So the CV inputs on the Iridium are clock. Their inputs are gate in, CV in 1, 2, 3, 4. So you might be able to map those to sustain. And then there's a clock in and a start in. So that's a good question, Pat. I'll have to look at that. I don't know. I bet someone's tried it. We will search the internet and find out. Let's see. You can't recover from gas. Yeah, gas's terminal. That's True Biscuit. Let's see. Steve says, I thought the three machines were one. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, they're just connected. They're welded together, more or less. Welded with screws. Let's see. Breathalyzer. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to get caught up here in the chat. Latency is a bitch. You prefer the Opsix FM compared to the Modx Man with Beard? I haven't had a Modx, and they look awesome, and I've considered them, but they're more expensive, certainly more expensive than Opsix, right? And Opsix is like, Korg just comes out of nowhere with just, you want to dig deep? They're like, the Korg engineers are like, some people will dig deep. Well, let's give them some buried treasure to find, right? And like, if you get in there, there's amazing things to be found that I haven't dug that deep on, but I've seen other people do it. Let's see. Hey, Rob, welcome aboard. Let's see. How did I kick off what casual noises? Because I'm still alive, so I haven't kicked off personally, but let me know what you mean. Let's see. Luke is in denial. I'm not in denial. I'm not addicted to modular. Shut up. You're addicted to modular. Let's see. Question, is the Iridium UI user-friendly? Yes. The Iridium has the desktop. I assume the keyboard's the same, or it's very similar. The desktop UI is a little tight. I have big fingers. I have fat fingers. And the knobs are large. They're not small. It's not like modular. It's not like Eurorack where you see the module and you're like, oh, look at those knobs. They look kind of chunky. And then when you get them, they're like a toothpick. The Iridium knobs are substantial. They're whatever, a penny in diameter. I'm not sure what that is. I don't have a ruler here. And so they're a little tight. So like when I'm turning one, it is possible for my fingers to bump other ones out of place. But it's okay. I haven't had that happen in any sort of catastrophic way. The UI is easy. The touchscreen I haven't had a problem with. And I haven't seen a lot of people complaining that the Iridium touchscreen is problematic. Some of the early units had this deadly white screen of death, like hardware problem. But Waldorf dealt with that, I think. I don't know if there's any people who got burned by that, but I have no issues. The touchscreen isn't flaky. I live in the winter, certainly. It's very, very dry here. And I don't have to wet my fingers to use the touchscreen, right? So if you ever used like a capacitive keyboard or any like Eurorack modules from Make Noise, like Renee, where when it's really dry and you go to use them, they won't register your fingers. You have to, so I'm sorry for the person who bought my Rene a long time ago, but I would have to lick my fingers and then press the Rene buttons. So a little too much information. I'm okay. I'm sure that person is still alive. I didn't give them COVID or anything like that. But, so I have really no problems with the UI. It is page and tab based on the screen. But the buttons are pretty smart, and all the controls, when you go to change them, once you change the value, the screen snaps to the context of what you're changing. So that's okay. Kick off from modular. How did I kick off from modular? How did I stop? Well, I sold a bunch of modules and then put a bunch in the closet. And then I have a matriarch that allegedly I will still connect some modules to. But like the giant wall of modules, I don't know. I like the hardware. Not the hardware. I like keyboards and desktop modules. So some people like to eat and some people like to cook. I like to eat, right? And so I can cook from a modular perspective, totally. But I get more joy out of eating meals prepared by someone else than I do out of preparing them myself. That might be an appropriate analogy for how I got out of modular. I still dabble, right? My wife and I alternate cooking throughout the course of the week and takeout. But I'm using modular in the context of a matriarch to make the matriarch a super synth that I want it to be. So I still have modules for that. I'm going to be doing that. But like the giant wall of modules, like Andy is in a modular space where he likes cooking, right? This morning he was unpatching everything, or yesterday morning he was unpatching everything and starting a new dish, right? And I have been in that space, and I'd rather just sit down and eat a burger. I'll eat a Moog burger, already pre-wrapped, right? Cooked and everything. That'll work for me. So let me get caught up here. Let's see. I'm addicted to big synths. It's a real problem, actually. I have too many synths and not enough space, so I've got synths that are in storage at this point. For the first time in my life, I've got synths in storage or on loan to friends, and I feel guilty about it. Yeah, Steve, the cables. Yeah, I tried a lot of different ways to deal with cable mess in modular, including like running certain cables like clock, things that you could put on the bus, but nobody uses the Eurorack A100 bus really that much. I would run cables behind modules and stuff like that, things like clock and reset, things like that, and that worked okay, and it got cables out of the way. But at the end of the day, whatever, it works. Yeah, we are metaphorical. Just made a video with 16 sequence passes through the sledge. Oh yeah, Paul, you told me about that. Did you publish it? It's going to show up in your monthly. So Paul gathers up all his music every month that he makes over the course of the month, aggregates it all together into an hour or 2 hour long video, and then publishes the video. All right, I just changed the patches and it went to Egypt. What are we listening to here? This is a Wavestate. Interesting. Okay, so there's a preset coming up called Flactuations, F-L-A-C, Flactuations, like fluctuations, but flactuations. Is that a play on flatulence? Is this modular farting? Let's find out. Right now. That's more of a sequence, a rhythmic sequence. This is getting back into the, in the stock Wavestate sort of factory presets, there's a lot of this rhythmic sample flipping, which if that moves you, fine. but I'm really looking for space music drones. This one's not really up my alley. I'm going to move past this. Let's see. Go. No. Negative. Negative Ghost Rider. That pattern is full. Let's see. Yeah, I think I've left the space zone and now I'm in some sort of like cyberpunk zone. All right, let's roll that back. There we go. Let's bring the Modwave back in. Let me earn my pay. We'll play a little bit more. Oh, well, actually, let me complain about one other thing. The Iridium. Waldorf's factory presets are jarring. They're all over the map. They're not organized in any sort of cohesive, coherent way, and they're not named well. Okay, so you'll get something that's like, oh, here's a nice analog pad emulation, and then you'll get something that's like a drill in your ear, like, and the volume levels jump. Like there could be like a 12 decibel difference going from preset to preset. So like, be ready to go. It's crazy. That's why I haven't changed any of the sounds on the Iridium in the last hour, because it's like, I don't want to risk it. So, let's see. About 10 minutes left to go. We'll call it 5 minutes because we want to give everybody time to truck over to Symptoms of Reality. Yeah, double Mooger and fries. Exactly. Let's see. Alright, I see Symptoms of Reality gang heading off to go prep for their stream. Tracy says, hey Tracy, I finally applied some Berlin sensibility to a modular patch. Nice. And you were satisfied. You had a good time with it? That's awesome, Tracy. I'm pleased for you. Yeah, the Iridium presets do suck sometimes. Yeah, it's the same on the Waldorf, the Blofeld as well, actually. Got a link you can post. Luke. What, Craig? A link to what? I missed the context there, Craig. You have to fill me in. Let's see. Oh, link for Symptoms. Okay. Yeah, actually, I should. This is where we're going to go after this. If you want to raid. Symptoms? Symptoms of who? I know not who you speak of. Hold on a second. Here we go. Let's open that. There we go. All right, let me grab a link here. You can see me, my mouth falls open and I look stupid while I'm mousing around here. La la la. Become a mouth breather. Okay, this is where we're going after this. 3 o'clock. Alright. Yeah, basically it's a raid. Rich says, thank you for making me like my Modwave some more again. Yeah, your Modwave is awesome. I would hold on to it, Rich. Or sell it, sell it and understand that the person who gets it is going to be happy with it, right? It's all good. All right. Speaking of, let's see if I can find this. Oh, I have one other thing I wanted to talk about in the last 5 minutes. So, tell me, how does the stream sound? Okay, I don't quite have the whole ducking microphone thing working, but from a perspective of level and EQ, I've got a box here that everything's running through. So in the last month, there's been like an assload of compression pedals being released, and even a few from last year, right? That sounds good. Here, I've got everything running through a make it sound good box, right? And I'm gonna disable the make it sound good box, and we'll see if you can tell the difference. So it's running, and now we'll turn it off. I'll count to 10 in my head. And now we will turn the Make It Sound Good box back on. All right. So I picked up, I saw these compression pedals go through, and I'm like, I was struggling to sort of bring up the overall level of the stream and also get some EQ in there. And so I picked up a pedal from the Endorphins guys over in Spain called the Golden Master, which has been out for like a year. A whole bunch of pedals came out in the last month or so that everybody's going apeshit over. But I wanted something that has been cooked a little bit. And I saw one review that said it was noisy, but I think they were talking about the Eurorack module. There's a Eurorack module that is this, and then they'd sold enough of them that they made it a guitar pedal sort of box. It's a stereo compressor, stereo EQ, stereo mid-side processor with a big-ass limiter at the end of the chain. And it'll do sidechain compression, which I don't personally need. I would like to try ducking my microphone, but I don't have quite the right gear for that yet. And it just works. You got to understand how a compressor works at a beginner's level. I'm no mixing mastering engineer. But I managed to make this thing sound good enough, and it smooths out the levels, brings everything up, lets me play with my EQ, right? Bring the low end up, add a little shimmer to the top end. It allows me to sort of compress the bass down to more towards mono, right? So it's a little more centered, plays nice, and allows me to actually spread out the high end a little bit, to push it out to the sides a bit, and I like it, and it's affordable. It's $350 US. So, hey, the Endorphins Golden Master, not sponsored, bought it with my money, and I like it. It works well. It does the job. I don't think it's an over the top. I don't think it's an OTT. It's simply called the Golden Master, and it's got, like, its compression ratios go from like 2-to-1 to 4-to-1. It doesn't do crazy, but it seems to work just fine. Anyway, so I'm happy with it. Nice, Paul. It hurts. So, okay. All right. So, from your perspective, if it does sound gooder, it's a sound gooderizer. All right, that's cool. Nail MacDonald. So, hey there. If you've been here before, your name doesn't jump out at me, and so welcome if it's your first time. Dimension X, hey, sneaking in at the end. Brian Eckberg. Wow, a bunch of people jumped in here. Oh, well, I'm sorry if I missed you guys earlier. Hey, Muriel. Cool. I hear the dog. The dog is singing the song of his people. So, all right, it's 2:56. I posted a link. I'll post it again. So we're going to do a little raid here. I'm going to go head over to my friends at Symptoms of Reality and go watch their stream. Although I think their stream is like 3 hours long. So go in and check it out. It's two twin brothers. making music in their studio with the rest of their family in the background, doing the Ed McMahon sort of behind the camera editor stuff, significant other and whatnot. It's a nice family. They're pretty cool. Oh, it starts in 30 minutes. Oh, they pushed it out. Well, you know what? That's fine. Go visit them whenever you want, but I'm going to shut her down. It's 2:56, and here, let me do this, see if you can hear it. Let's bring this down. Here, hold on. I'll introduce you to that which is calling me, singing the song of his people. Hang on, I got to take this off for a second to capture him. Come here. Don't run away from me. Come here. All right. Just going to hold my microphone. This is the deadly beast. His name is Bubba. You've seen him if you're on the channel. He's been crying for the last 5 minutes. He's like, hey, I need to pee, because he's an old man. And like many old men, he needs to pee about every 2.5 hours. So I'm going to shut the stream down. Want to say hi? No? Don't want to say hi? Okay, fine. So thanks for playing, everyone. All right. We'll fade it out. I will, well, the sound's already faded out. I will do this. I'll go back to the transition screen because Andy really likes it when I do fade out screens. Bye, gang. It's been real. It's been fun. Thanks for showing up. I'll do this again next Sunday. And all of you have whatever's left in your weekend. Have a great time. Okay. I will talk to you later. See ya.